The first musician I ever liked was Jim Croce. I still like Jim Croce a lot. Um, and it's wonderful to watch Jim live uh, because Jim spends about 10 to 20% of his show actually doing music. So he's a lot like me. He just likes to talk. Um, like I remember on the first live album that ever came out, Jim Croce live. He did Speedball Tucker. He did an 11-minute rap about the song, and then the song itself was like a minute 50 seconds. So it gives you some idea. Um, but I was always more interested in Croce's more gentle songs. Now I'm not as so much. I I'm too sentimental as it is. I don't need any extra of that. Um, and so I really like songs like Speedball Tucker and Rabbit Roy and things like that. Um, uh, but the song "You Don't Mess Around with Jim," uh, which was the name of his first album. It wasn't his first big hit. His first big hit was Operator, but it was a hit off his first album, and everyone knows it. Uh, and unlike Leroy Brown, the South Side of Chicago is the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Leroy Brown. You know, Leroy Brown works. All right, if you listen to all the lyrics, it's all fine. It's a Friday about a week ago. Although when I was a kid, I thought he said Friday Ali B Babo for whatever reason. Um, but Friday about a week ago, Leroy shooting dice, and at the edge of the corner sat a girl named Doris, and oh, that girl looked nice. Well, he cast his eyes upon her, and the trouble soon began. Leroy Brown had learned a lesson about messing with the wife of a jealous man, all right? So you mess around with the guy's wife, you get beat up. But that's not the case here with Big Jim Walker, all right? So let's just do this, and I'm going to stop just intermittently talk about the song. So we got Uptown got its hustlers, the Bowery got its bum, 42nd Street got Big Jim Walker, he a pull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he's big and dumb as a man can come. All right, I have to stop right there. I mean, I've known a lot of pool players. No pool player is stupid, all right? So, I mean, he can't be big and dumb as a man can come. So, I mean, you're going to write a song about a pool player, all right? He could be fat, all right? But he can't be dumb, all right? Well, he's big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, they all call Big Jim boss just because. Alright, well, alright. Obviously, I think he means horse, but horse doesn't rhyme with boss, so he does hoss. So, fine, I don't mind that. Croce was never timid about doing things like that. He does a similar thing in Rapid Roy. Um, uh, and then it just goes to show, the people that he surrounds himself with. This is a nice. I like this voicing of a dominant seventh. I think that's actually the way that Jim plays it. And they say you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off of Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. I do do da dee 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 dee. Now, a few things about that. You don't tug on Superman's cape. Okay, I'm fine with that. I wouldn't do that, but Superman was such a nice guy. I mean, he'd understand. You don't spit into the wind. Well, I don't spit. I've never been able to spit. I think I was born with a lack of phlegm. Which is a good thing. I think I've been thinking about doing computer dating, and I think I should put that on there. Lacks phlegm, you know. And you don't pull the mask off of a Lone Ranger, all right? The Lone Ranger is by far the stupidest superhero character ever. I even as a 5-year-old, I thought he was pathetic. So, just, anyway, so we'll get to the second part, all right? Things are heating up in the song here, all right? We've established Big Jim Walker, he's a pool hustler, and all the bad people around 42nd Street, you know, he's the man. He's a pool hustler, and he's a big guy, and you don't mess around with him. Okay. Well, out of South Alabama come a country boy. He said, I'm looking for a man named Jim. I am a pool shooting boy, my name is Willie McCoy, but down home they call me Slim. Yeah, I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street. He drive an old drop-top Cadillac. Last week he took all my money, and it may sound funny, but I come to get my money back. And everybody say, Jack, well, don't you know that you don't tug on Superman's cape? Okay, again, isn't that great? Oh, love that. Here, let me get it in there. So this is a lot of different ways to play it. A lot of people play it this way, but it doesn't sound nearly as good as, you know, get that seventh up there, you know. Okay, so anyway, so out of South Alabama come a country boy. He says, I'm looking for a man named Jim. I am a pole shooting boy. My name is Willie McCoy. All right, now this is important. I mean, he's establishing himself as a pole player. All right. Okay, my name is Willie McCoy, but at home they call me Slim. Obviously, they call him Slim because Slim rhymes with Jim, and it's easier for Jim Croce, who didn't like to mess around too much with rhymes. It's pretty clear Jim never owned a rhyming dictionary. Although personally, I don't think any songwriter worth his salt owns a rhyming dictionary. And then last week he took all my money, and it may sound funny, but I come to get my money back. Now, we've established that he's a pool player. Big Jim Walker has hustled him, right? And you get this impression that it's going to be like that final scene in The Hustler, you know, with Paul Newman, right? But then he totally turns it around, all right? Now, personally, I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with pool hustling, you know? It's like you go into a bar with a bunch of pool players, and there's all kinds of hustling going on. And I mean, generally, what it has to do with this is people playing under speed, people pretending not to play as well as they really play. All right. And you know, if you don't, I don't play pool, and I know that. All right. So if you play pool and you don't know that, you know, you deserve to lose your money. Okay. So then we get to the third and final verse, except for that little rap at the end, which is kind of embarrassing. So we go. Well, a hush fell over the pool room as Jimmy come bopping in off the street. Now I have to stop right there. Any man who's bopping in off the street is a friend of mine. I think that, you know, especially a big man who's bopping, you know. I don't even know what bopping is, but somehow it seems jaunty to me. Well, a hush fell over the pool room as Jimmy come bopping in off the street. And when the cutting was done, the only part that wasn't bloody were the soles of the big man's feet. Yeah, he was cutting about 100 places, and he was shot in a couple more. And you better believe it come a different kind of story when a big Jimmy hit the floor. Oh ho ho. All right, before I even get to the verse, this is just horrible. All right. Well, a hush fell over the pool room. Jimmy come bopping in off the floor. And when the cutting was done, the cutting, where'd this knife come from? All right. The only part that wasn't bloody were the soles of the big man's feet. Well, he was cut in about 100 places, and he was shot in a couple more. He was shot 2 times, all right? He was cut over 100 times and shot twice. Now, regardless of how big and tough Big Jim Walker is or anyone else is, you cut him 100 times and you shoot him twice, especially, you shoot him in some vital organs, the head or something like that, they're going to hit the floor, all right? So Slim to me is the big villain here, all right? But then just look what happens with all Big Jim's family. Well, they say you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off of a Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Slim. So just because Slim can fight, and unfairly at that, because there's no indication that Jim has a knife and a gun, you know. Um, and then Jim does this little thing at the end. Well, Big Jim found out where it's at, out at night, late at night, hustling people strange to you, even if you do got a two-piece custom-made pool cue. So he mentions that he has a two-piece custom-made pool cue. He doesn't mention at all that he had a gun or a knife or anything like that, or like Leroy Brown had a razor in his shoe, whatever that means. Um, and so I mean, I think in this case, I mean, the whole thing is that Big Jim gets his comeuppance, but uh, if he deserves a comeuppance, it's not from Slim. Slim is a bad guy, and Jim miswrote this song, but it's fun song. It's fun song. So there you go. So there's my deconstruction of you don't mess around with Jim. Oh, by the way. At the end of all the verses, Jim does this scatting. Do that dee 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 bum 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 bum. All right. So that thing I said in Leroy Brown, thinking that Friday about a week ago was Ali B. Bo, makes perfect sense, right? Because I already been shown that he is willing to scat, for no reason whatsoever. So, and Friday about a week ago, Ali B. Babo. Although doesn't that sound, like Jason and the Argonauts, and he comes to a cave and he says Ali B. Babo and it opens, something like that. I don't know, just a thought.